Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Survivor Series is this coming Sunday, November 22nd, my birthday. If you haven't done so already, make sure you check out my predictions video with Jeff Meacham. We discussed all 5 matches that were announced as of that recording. And what's funny is that literally 5 minutes after I uploaded the video, WWE announced that there will be a 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. Go figure. Anyways, got your questions here from Twitter regarding Raw and other topics, and everybody knows the big topic here. This one comes from Antonius. Hey Aaron, do you think it's hypocritical for fans of the Attitude Era to criticize WWE for using Reed in the segment? On one hand, I would say yes, because fans out there, myself included, we've been very vocal about wanting WWE to push the envelope and do things that are edgy. Now, this isn't exactly what I had in mind when I said WWE should take chances and present more edgier programming. To me, this was low. And when I was watching it at first, I didn't mind it because I assumed that Ric Flair gave his okay and the Flair family gave their okays for that angle to happen. But when I found out that Charlotte's mom, Beth, Ric Flair's ex-wife, she didn't know about it, and Ric Flair himself did not know about it, that bothered me. That changed my opinion on the whole thing. It's one thing to reference death when you're referencing a fictional character. Perfect example is The Big Show and his father having cancer. That whole thing was fictionalized. That is one thing. But to reference a person's real-life death, a tragic death, to advance your storyline because you cannot come up with anything else to get people interested, it comes off as very desperate. That's my take on it. I'm just disappointed that WWE did not tell Flair in advance. Maybe they felt he was going to shoot it down and say, do not do this, and that's why they didn't do it. Who knows? But it does bother me that they didn't tell the Flair family, past Charlotte, that they were going to do this angle. And I got this question here from pwpop.com. Where's the line between entertainment and distasteful? I don't think it was shocking. It was questionable mentioning Reed. Once again, I think you draw the line when it's a real-life death. When it's a death of a fictional character, to me, that is acceptable and falls in the realm of acceptable entertainment. I think people feel uncomfortable when you reference real-life death for entertainment purposes because WWE is a fantasy entertainment world, and it's not good to usually mix the two. But I can understand WWE's viewpoint. They want to make the thing come off like a shoot. When Paige is bringing up Reed, this is a shoot. The problem with this is that I think most casual viewers, they don't even know what Paige is talking about. It's completely out of their knowledge because they just tune in. They don't know who Reed Flair is. And for hardcore fans, it's uncomfortable because so many fans have grown up loving Ric Flair and they really felt his pain when Reed passed away, and it's just uncomfortable to watch as entertainment. And like what they did with Eddie Guerrero, with Randy Orton saying Eddie was in hell. I mean, that was a very controversial line as well. So when you get too close to real life and especially tragic situations, I do feel that crosses a line, and it gets to a point where it's not entertaining. It's just uncomfortable to watch. All right, this one comes from Jordy. Do you think the declining crowds are an indication that the fans think the current product sucks and are rejecting it? Pictures surfaced Tuesday night from the Knoxville, Tennessee SmackDown tapings, and the arena was quite empty. I think 3/4 of the arena was tarpered off. I mean, that's really bad. Is this an indication that fans are losing interest in WWE? Probably not, because SmackDown has not exactly been must-see television over the past couple of years. If it continues to be a pattern and we continue to see crowds declining in size, and if Raw crowds start declining, then you know you have a real problem. I mean, it's definitely not good, but I wouldn't say that it's time for WWE to panic yet. WrestleMania ticket sales are doing tremendous. So it is what it is. WWE is going to have some strong crowds and they're going to have some weak crowds. It will happen. So it's just a matter of if it continues to be a recurring thing where they draw very small crowds for their television tapings. Alright, this one comes from Peter Gomez. Would you ever consider being a WWE writer if the opportunity ever presented itself? Please answer in video. No, not interested. As much as I feel I could help, I'm just one person and I would not be able to handle the stress levels. I like being able to remain drama-free and stress-free. You have to give the WWE writers credit. It is a very stressful job working for WWE, having to come up with fresh material, or at least attempt to come up with fresh material every single week. You have to write 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever it is of television. It's a very difficult job, and I think that some people take it for granted, and it's very easy to go on YouTube and say this is how they should do it. It's a very difficult job. I would not be able to handle it. Just with my personality, I would not be able to handle the stress levels and the politics and all that stuff. You really have to be thick-skinned to be able to do that and be able to handle the stress level. I mean, it is a very difficult job. Alright, this one comes from Mr. Yuck. What are your top tag teams to never win WWE Gold? Rockers, Powers of Pains, and so forth. I would have to say the Rockers. I think of all the top-level WWE tag teams, the Rockers were the one team that never won the big one. They never won the tag team titles. There was that one match where they beat the Hart Foundation, but WWE never recognized the title change. The Rockers were one of the most popular tag teams in WWE history, period, of any era. So I would go with the Rockers on that one. Alright, this one comes from Beast Slayer. What were your top 3 Eddie Guerrero matches, and what was your favorite moment of his? Definitely the match with Brock Lesnar at No Way Out when he won the title. The ladder match with Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. I know a lot of people did not like that storyline, but I enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the Halloween Havoc 97 match with Rey Mysterio, so you could put that one in place of SummerSlam if you want. I mean, there were so many memorable Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio matches over the years, and the Rey Mysterio, the Eddie Guerrero versus RVD ladder match, that one was really good as well. Eddie Guerrero teaming up with Chavo against Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, and the world's greatest tag team, all those different combinations. I mean, there were so many great Eddie Guerrero matches. I mean, too many to count. I mean, it's really hard to pick the top ones, but I think the #1 match would have to be against Brock for sure, since that was the match when he won the title. And that's arguably his biggest moment, that and WrestleMania 20 with him and Benoit celebrating as world champions. Alright, this one comes from John. Hey Aaron, what are your top 3 best Survivor Series elimination matches of all time? Well, if you've been following the videos over the past few weeks, I've brought up the Ultimate Match for Survival from 1990. Looking back, I enjoyed the 2003 match, which was Steve Austin's team against Eric Bischoff's team, and Austin lost, and then he was no longer the general manager. I enjoyed that whole storyline, and that was just a fun match. That was one of the best of the modern era. And I actually enjoyed the 1995 wild card match when you had heels and faces on the same team. To me, that was an interesting concept, and I'm surprised that WWE never brought that back, because I thought it was unique. You know, you never see the heels and faces forced to work together. So I found that to be interesting and something out of the norm. Alright, this one comes from Eduardo. Do you think Kevin Nash versus Brock Lesnar would have made a good match? Probably not. I think maybe Kevin Nash in his prime as Diesel in 1995, maybe him and Brock would have been able to have an interesting match if it was an all-out brawl, a street fight. Technically, I don't know if they would have been able to have a good match against each other. The thing about Kevin Nash is his best matches were with smaller guys, when you had the big man, little man dynamic. You know, Kevin Nash versus Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash versus Bret Hart. Those were his best matches, when Kevin Nash was in there with another big man. Wasn't all that good. Undertaker, Kevin Nash from WrestleMania was decent. Kevin Nash versus Sid, they never had good matches. With Brock, probably would have been a little bit better, but I wouldn't say it would be an all-time classic. I mean, if they had a very physical brawl, maybe it would have been good. Who knows? Alright, this one comes from Kevin Zwicker. Who is more likely to come back, CM Punk or Hulk Hogan? Please answer in video. Really putting me on the spot here, aren't you? I think that it's more likely Hogan will be back at this point. I would be shocked if Hulk Hogan never appears in a WWE ring again. As they say, time heals all wounds, and I think WWE will eventually feel comfortable bringing Hulk Hogan back once the heat has died down. I would just be amazed to never see Hulk Hogan appear on WWE television again in some capacity. It would really shock me. So I would say it's inevitable that we'll see Hulk Hogan again. CM Punk, I would go with the never say never, but he is hell-bent on doing other things with his life, and he shows no interest in coming back to WWE. That could change. There's nothing but time. 20 years from now, he might want to come back, go in the Hall of Fame, do something like that. But I think it's more likely because Hulk Hogan's been so involved with WWE over the years. He has so much history with the company. He's one of the all-time greatest names in the history of the business. I think it's more likely we'll see Hogan. At least we'll see Hogan before we see CM Punk in a WWE ring again. But I think both are possible. I would not rule out Punk appearing on WWE television again at some point. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it, like it, tell a friend, anybody you know who watches wrestling, have them check out NoDQ&A video, and I will see you guys next time.